reporter Neil Sean. He was in the courtroom today and has covered the royal family for more than 20 years. Neil, good to see you. Good to have you back on the program today. Thanks for being here. You know, it looked like, first of all, he didn't show up yesterday because he says he had to fly in late because it was his daughter's second birthday. You know, so this is the second time that he has not shown up for something because of one of his toddler's birthdays, to which I think a lot of parents would say, well, maybe you could celebrate the day before, or, you know, they don't, the kids don't really understand these things quite yet. But anyway, so the judge was a little peeved that he wasn't there yesterday. So how did he do up there on the stand when he did arrive today?
Well, as ever, Martha, lovely to see you. And yeah, I mean, a strange performance, really. I think what really came through was just, in my opinion, he's quite deranged. You know, the bottom line is he could not remember many of the facets being presented to him by the QC, Andrew Green. And rather predominantly, you know, there were certain issues where he said, well, no, I was shown those particular things at a later stage. So do you recall them or don't you? And also, I think starting out with the fact that he wished to be known to the court as Prince Harry, not the Duke of Sussex, but Prince Harry, which would, of course, leave certain people, Martha, in the court quite starstruck. You know, there was a certain buzz there. There's no two ways about it. And Harry would be aware of that, the theatre of that, you know. So I think the bottom line, when you look at it from the other side, is he got off to a reasonable start, but very quickly started to flounder, and that really showed through.
Yeah, so there were several cross-examinations where he had claimed that someone must have been hacking into someone's phone to know specific things. Like he said he had a glandular infection, a kissing disease, and he said he was embarrassed about that. And so no one could have possibly known that that was why he was sick when he was in school at one point. And then he was presented with evidence that St. James Palace had actually put out a press release that that was what he was sick with before it got reported. So it sounds as though his attorneys didn't, you know, either didn't do a great job preparing him or he didn't do a very solid job in making sure he was ready.
Exactly, Martha. And the bottom line was, as the Queen famously said, recollections may vary. You know, what really came out was the fact that he just had this one mantra, in my opinion, which was all about sort of attacking the British media, saying that they'd ruined his life. You know, it's not a bad life, is it? If you look at the end of it, there you are living in the lap of luxury, using a name to make a lot of money. The counter side, I do understand that, I'm sure, in that period, at that time, the British media were pretty ferocious. Course, but yeah. Equally, you know, let's not forget that his mother was very much in part of that. She loved the media attention, and whichever way Harry wants to paint Princess Diana, she was simply no saint. I think the biggest thing was when he brought up, you know, her former paramour, James Hewitt. You know, that kind of did give a bit of a, you know, what's happening here? But of course, he demonstrated that he'd heard these rumours, he knew all about them, and that did kind of deflect, actually, Martha, away from his lack of ability to provide some constructive and meaningful evidence. I think a lot of people were like, oh, OK, what's your take on that? But of course, we knew that thanks to his book Spare, so not really anything new.
Yeah. So he will be cross-examined again tomorrow by Mr. Green. And is expected to get, you know, to dig into this a little bit more and could be a little bit more uncomfortable. What was your sense? And just tell everyone what to expect. How long will this take? And, you know, the jury, how does this work? What do you expect will happen?
Well, tomorrow's a big day, actually, Martha, again, and it could be a lot harder because now they've had time to reconnect and Harry will have time to, he's going to have to really up his game to get this better than it was today. Today was showboating, tomorrow is the real hard facts. Once that's taken place, then it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to 7 weeks while they reach a conclusion. I don't think at this stage, looking at what we've seen in there today, that Harry is on a winner. I think, you know, his QC, Mr. Sherborne, has a very tough job. He's an excellent QC, so I believe. But when you saw Harry arriving at court today, he was there to meet him. That was highly, you know, I mean, whether he wanted the PR, who knows? Maybe he likes it too. But the other side of the coin really was, I think he picked up on the fragility of Prince Harry, and to guide him through that tomorrow is going to take a big feat, you know, to get it to the next stage. So we're going to see a big explosion, I think, more tomorrow.
Okay, we'll be watching. I know you'll be there. Neil, thank you very much. Neil Sean
a pleasure.
in London. Always good to see you.